While we were at Coates, Donna's dad had to have surgery, back surgery if I remember right. And Donna's mother doesn't drive. I don't know if she ever did drive. But at any rate, Donna said, you know, I've got to go back and transport her back and forth to see Dad in the hospital, and I want to be there with him. I said, sure, honey, no problem. And so it was agreed that we'd go back and she'd keep the car there in Douglas, Kansas, and I would take her dad's pickup. With our kids growing up, we always called him Gramp. Well, that was no problem, but I'm a sleepyhead driver, always was. Always guess will be. Today I use books on tape. If the book's good, or if I can find a ball game, something like that, everything's fine. But all the grandkids, all my close friends that we'd go to conventions and so on together knew that when Dean starts singing Christmas carols regardless of the time of the year and combing his hair and slapping his face, you better get him out from underneath the wheel. So I'm driving the pickup. I'm heading from Wichita out towards Pratt, and Coach is just around the corner a little bit west and south of Pratt. And I'm sleepy. And I've always, well, I was a hitchhiker all the time when I was a kid in the service. And I've always picked up hitchhikers. You know, look them over, make a judgment. And only on 2 occasions did I make a judgment that I really regretted. And on this day I was sleepy, saw 2 young men. They looked clean and neat. Had their thumbs up. Pulled over, you want to ride? Yeah. So they hopped in, and I'll tell you, we weren't 10 miles down the line, and they began to say the kind of things to kind of check out if they could intimidate me. Well, you know, it's a fair fight. I'm not too easily intimidated, but when I'm a hold of a wheel and these jokers are not, they scared me. I really got the feeling that, dadgummit, these kids may just knock me over the head, but they may kill me, and they definitely have in mind, in my opinion, stealing this truck. So I was intimidated, and I got quieter and quieter, and I'm thinking. And they had asked me how far I was going, and I don't remember if I'd told them originally anything or not, but anyway, I now worked into the conversation that, well, I guess I'll just go on out to Dodge City. Thinking that, you know, these boys, if they're going to do something bad, they would prefer to do it in the part of Kansas that's more thinly populated than this area here around Pratt and Wichita. So things were very quiet, and as we were driving into Pratt, I'm trying to remember, where is that drugstore that's on a corner right off of this highway? So I saw it coming up. I said, you know, I'm going to get a soda. You boys want a soda? And as I was saying it, I was whipping around and parking because I had spotted a parking spot. And they didn't want anything. And boy, I had the key out of that truck and was out of the truck and into that drugstore quickly. And there were a lot of people around. You know, I was pretty sure they wouldn't try anything with lots of witnesses. Well, I got into that store, and first thing I did is get as far away as I could from the window, but where I could still peek back out at the truck, and looked for a telephone. Didn't see a telephone. But I went ahead and bought the soda, and I got back in the corner as far away as I could, where I hoped they couldn't see me, but I could keep track of them. Now, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And those boys were yakking at each other and talking it over. You could tell that they thought maybe they'd been stiffed. Well, you know, I don't know how long I waited, but I waited until they got out of the car and left, and then I waited quite a bit longer. Then it kind of snuck up to the door, took a quick look, ran out, jumped in the truck, locked the doors, started the engine, never saw those 2 again. And, you know, I hope I was wrong about them. you don't even want to think you're that close to evil. So I hope I was wrong about them, but I was sure glad to be rid of them without them harming me or stealing Donna's dad's truck. The other time that I was picking up hitchhikers was much later, when we were up in Wyoming. And I just picked up a single individual, but I had my whole family with me, and I shouldn't have picked up a hitchhiker. It was a bad thing to do. And that young man really worried me too. But I wasn't in a position to play any tricks, and finally got him out of the car without any harm. But I never picked up a hitchhiker again with family in the car. Too risky. It's too bad, too, because there's a lot of people still out there, maybe more now than ever with the current economic situation, that need a ride. And as you get older and weaker, you're less likely to give anybody a ride.